Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Aloha, I'm Lourdes Hassan.
I'm Jake Herbig.
I'm Krista Snackenberg.
And I'm Kiana Okino. We're coming to you today from the campus of Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School in Lihui, Kauai, the home base for this episode of HIKI NŌ, the nation's first statewide student news network.
HIKI NŌ means can do, and in this episode, you'll see what our schools in Hawaii can do with a camera, a computer, and a lot of hard work.
From Oahu, we have Kamehameha Schools Kapālama, Waipahu High School, Kalani High School, and Kawananakoa Middle School.
From Maui, we have stories from Maui High School and Maui Waena Intermediate School.
From the Big Island of Hawaii, we have Konawaena High School.
And from Kauai, your hosts are from Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School.
On this show, you'll hear from diverse voices from across the island chain,
telling stories that connect us all
on HIKI NŌ. Before we start our first story, we'd like to recognize the grant organizations that have made HIKI NŌ a reality.
They believe that Hawaii could create the nation's first statewide student news network.
They put their faith in us and said can do, and for this we say mahalo.
Now on with the show.
We're going to begin our story today from the beautiful campus of Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School here on Kauai. Our school is home to more than 900 students in grades 6 through 8 and was named after the High Chiefess Kamakahelei, mother of King Kamalihi. Each year, a number of our students apply to attend Kamehameha schools on Oahu, and those who are accepted must move away from home and board at the school. That's not an easy thing for a 12-year-old to do. How do they cope with being apart from their families, and what is it like to live at school? Students from Kamehameha School's Kapālama provide us with their first story about boarding.
In 1887, when the Kamehameha School for Boys was founded, it was originally a boarding school. 114 years later, our school continues to offer boarding. With over 1,700 boarders living in 10 different dorms, they represent about 20% of the high school population. Most boarders come from neighbor islands, although a few hail from the mainland as well as Oahu.
Aloha mai o kamalani ko'u inoa no kahana Oahu mai au ai no au I ka hale noho haumana o Iolani. He mai ka iho I ka noho na mana hale noho haumana no ka mea hiki kia o ia na mea he nui e pili ana ka pilina me na kanaka e ae.
Boarding life to me is living independently and living in a dorm full of girls. It means living off kimchi bowls and candy.
Boarding is very structured with a lot of rules. It's very strict. It depends on your family and your background. For me, boarding is a lot stricter than home.
Strict rules such as check-in times and chore responsibilities are overseen by dorm advisors who take the place of parents. For this arrangement, parents pay a minimal boarding fee, which is added to their tuition.
If you're a regular day student, then you wouldn't have check-in times. You wouldn't have to check in right after school and rush up to your dorm, or you wouldn't have to check in at 6 or 10. Filling out passes, that is the worst ever because you have to call up your parents and then you gotta call up the person you're checking out with, and then it's oh my gosh, so many steps just to go out with someone.
On the other hand, living on campus eliminates the worries of actually getting to school and getting home.
We get to wake up a little more later than day students, and also we have food provided for us.
While the dining hall offers family-style eating, boarders often tire of having all of their meals there and turn to other food options. But being on their own means that boarders need to make the right choices when it comes to food as well as everything else.
And I think from a value standpoint, we learned how to be independent. We learned how to live on Oahu and work through the challenge of not having a parent to depend on all the time.
We come here and we learn life lessons, and we grow and we move on with our friends, and we make relationships that we'll never find anywhere else.
It is these bonds that help us through hard times when we miss our families and the comforts of home. But the unique experience of boarding stays with us for a lifetime. I'm Shea Tamura for Kamehameha School's Kapālama campus for HIKI NŌ.
If you'd like to stay connected with what's happening on HIKI NŌ, log on to our Facebook page. It's filled with photos and current info regarding the show. You can also follow us on Twitter at HIKI NŌ Can Do. It's a great way to get reminders on upcoming episodes.
Many people love local goodies, and that is why this soft, cool, and sweet treat has attracted many customers for decades. In fact, you can't go to Maui without stopping to get a taste of this or to pick some up to bring back home as omiyage. What am I talking about? A delicious concoction that's not quite ice cream, yet not quite sherbet, but is definitely ono. Here's Maui High School to tell us more about Tasaka Goody Goody.
It started off, okay, this is what my father said. Guri first started off as goody goody, something good, Goodie. But he said that the older Japanese people couldn't pronounce goody goody, and it would come out guri, so they just kept that name.
The two sisters, Cindy and Gail, are great-grandchildren of the founder, Jokichi Tasaka, who came to Hawaii from Japan in the early 1900s.
Mr. and Mrs. Tasaka, the original. He's not only a professional goody maker, but he was a professional artist who make up. And he made my sister and I, when we danced at the Baldwin High School, he painted, like kabuki kind of.
For the past century, visitors and locals have flocked to Tasaka Guri in Kahului to devour this delicious delicacy.
I remember when my husband used to take us riding. First thing we would go to the Kahului guri shop, and we enjoy eating the guri.
Their father, Henry Tasaka, gave them the business about a year ago. But it was their uncle, Setsuo Tasaka, that gave and taught them the secret recipe. People enjoy it for the taste, but the secret is in the texture.
People come in and ask us, what is guri? So we tell them, you gotta try it. It's not an ice cream, it's not a sherbet. It's just something different that you gotta experience, you gotta taste it for yourself.
For guri, it's not a secret process. It's just how we make the sherbet that it comes out the way it is. I think it's because it's fresh that it's not really hard. Guri it's a secret recipe, so I can't really tell you, but it's actually made like a homemade ice cream or sherbet, but we do it in a machine, an electro-freeze machine.
On a busy day, they make and sell 50 gallons of pineapple and strawberry guri. These two flavors are the only two they have produced since they have opened.
Orange and pink.
Do you like
orange and pink?
The pineapple strawberry are the only ones we make because that's what we grew up with. My grandfather just made those two flavors, and I guess we're just keeping up with the tradition, and we just make those two flavors.
Nonetheless, guri has been for both adults and kids alike, a one-of-a-kind treat that people from all over the world have come to taste for either their first time or to enjoy a familiar local goodie.
I have special memories about bringing my grandkids to have goody, and especially the grandkids from the mainland that don't get a chance to have this all the time. They always tell me, Grandpa, you're lucky.
This is Kara Oshiro from Maui High School for HIKI NŌ.
That sounds really good. We'll have to get our friends over at Maui High School to send us over some goody to sample. Maybe we can make a trade for some Homura Saimin from Kauai. Later in the show, we'll be heading over to the Big Island to learn about how old-fashioned Portuguese bread is made. But first, let's travel over to Oahu, where some Waipahu High School students are learning about the past through the stories of their elders.
Because all of us are barefooted over here, we had to work out in the field.
Waipahu High School students and nationally known professional storyteller Alton Chung had a talk story session with the elders that lived during the plantation period.
The reason why we're here today is try to document the stories about what it was like in plantations.
Waipahu is made from its stories from the people who have lived there. It is important to listen to elders' stories to know where we come from.
For those of us who grew up in the plantation, this is part of our life. The values that we retain from our parents who came from various countries is valuable. And so when you have 9 ethnic groups coming from different cultures with different kinds of values, what the plantation life means to us, it harmonized much of the values.
Plantation days, we never had to lock our doors. Your neighbor would help you. If your neighbor saw that your child was home alone, they would take care of the kid. They would take care of the child.
They were able to learn about the daily lives and struggles on the plantation.
In the afternoon, and in order for them to control us so we would go directly home, we had to pass a graveyard, and the teacher would tell us, be sure and go straight home, because if you're going to go through the graveyard and it starts getting dark, these round lights.
You know,
yeah. And we believed it, you know, in different.
Mother's sisters lived on the plantation, so we felt the plantation life. I never used the toilets, never took a bath there, but I heard stories.
Whenever the trains would pass, filled with sugarcane on the train cars, we kids would sort of run after the train cars. You know, the cars would be going pretty slowly because the mill was right there. And so what we'd do was we'd grab a sugarcane from the moving car and then take it back with us, and then we would slice the skin off, you know, and then suck on that juice. That is what I remember so much.
The history and the stories of Waipahu are very important because the past brought us to where the community is now.
That life of plantation life is gone now. And once you people go, the eyewitnesses, the people who actually lived it, are going to be gone too. And I would like to preserve that.
You need to sit down and talk to your grandchildren, your children, even if they don't want to listen to you. Tell the story over and over because they will remember when you're gone. But you cannot take your stories with you.
It is important to take the time and listen to these stories and preserve them. This is Karen Kaime reporting from Waipahu High School for HIKI NŌ.
Digital storytelling is a great way to capture the past before it's gone. All you need is a video camera, a decent microphone, and a tripod. I'm sure there's someone in your family with some stories to tell. Why not make that your next family activity?
Kalani High School on Oahu started the trend of performing on the mainland, and in fact was the first high school band from Hawaii to perform at the Rose Parade, the Sun Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl parades. Before we get to their piece on how to be a band geek, let's say a few words about our location behind me. We're at the Loai International Center located in the Loai Valley, home to the 88 Japanese shrines. These 88 shrines were built in 1904 by the first-generation Japanese immigrants, replicating an ancient pilgrimage of 88 temples in Shikoku, Japan. Today, it is the only such site existing outside of Japan and is one of the oldest Buddhist temple sites in the country. And here's Kalani High School.
Hey everyone, my name is Kellyanne Kobayashi from Kalani High School, and today I'll be helping you understand what it takes to be a band geek, with some awesome help from my favorite band geek, Rory Onishi. To be a true band geek, you need to proudly carry around your instrument anywhere. To be a true band geek, you need to practice your instrument all the time. Now, to be a hardcore band geek, you need to know how to march. And that's what it takes to be a band geek.
Kalani style.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything you see on HIKI NŌ, join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI NŌ can do, or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI NŌ can do.
We're right outside Kalaheo in the middle of over 3,000 acres of coffee trees, home to Kauai Coffee, the largest grower of coffee in the United States. In fact, Kauai coffee's 4 million trees produce over half the amount of coffee grown in the U.S. That's a pretty staggering number for a company on a small island in the middle of the Pacific. We now head back to Maui to learn about another local business that's been serving up tasty meals and treats since the 1940s. The students at Maui Waena Intermediate School bring us the story on the tasty crust.
In the heart of Wailuku lies a local restaurant, which is a cornerstone of the community.
Tasty Crust probably started somewhere around 1944. It was during World War II. The Kozuki family actually started Tasty Crust, and he started it as a bakery. That's the name Tasty Crust.
The restaurant is filled with sizzles and chops. What brings many customers to Tasty Crust is the world-famous pancakes.
There's no secret to it. It's eggs, butter, flour, milk. To be honest with you, I don't know what makes this pancake recipe different from others. Maybe it's magic, I don't know.
The real magic is the atmosphere created by Curtis and his employees, where everyone is welcome as a customer but leaves feeling like family.
32? Okay, fine. It's a deal. Okay, here we go, sir. That's what he's off. You guys work 99, so that's 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Side of the spare ribs.
I will, Louis. Thank you.
Yeah. Spend some time together, yeah, after all these
It's been like 20 years.
Yeah, with good food. Yes, exactly. And good food, yes.
I eat here all the time. For 36 years.
I've got all the waitresses trained to give me a hug.
This welcoming atmosphere is how the Tasty Crust Ohana hopes to keep the flame burning and the restaurant going and growing by inviting the next generation to come to the table. And our prediction is that for generations to come, Maui residents will be heading to Tasty Crust, where they will be greeted with delicious food, friendly smiles, and hugs, if they're lucky. This is Chantal Longboy from Maui Waena reporting for HIKI NŌ.
With all the advancements in technology, digital cameras are everywhere. They come in all shapes and sizes, and just about every cell phone these days has one. Combine that with Facebook and Twitter, and people are posting photos of their daily lives now more than ever. One particular thing that people love to post about is their love for food. But how can we make sure we take the best photos possible? Next up is Kawananakoa Middle School with digital photography tips.
Hi Amber, look what I got. Wait, before you eat it, let's take a picture.
Nowadays, everyone is taking pictures of their food, but it's not as simple as point and click. Tip number 1, be sure there are no shadows in your shot.
Let's do a retake. Ooh, that's snazzy. Better lighting.
Tip number 2, have your camera set to macro, which looks like a flower. Macro allows you to get up close to your subject, focus on details you want to show, and things in the background will appear blurry. Tip number 3, get a good angle on your picture. Sometimes straight down is good, sometimes food has an interesting side profile. Take a lot of pictures. Move around the food until you see an angle you like. So remember, lighting, setting, and angle for picture-perfect shots.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything you see on HIKI NŌ, join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI NŌ can do or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI NŌ can do. Behind me are many lo'is in Honolulu where taro is grown to make poi or taro chips. Did you know that taro is an annual crop? Taro takes about a year to grow, so farmers will stagger their crops in different fields so they can harvest throughout the year. With all this talk about food, I'm sure you must be hungry. I know I am. For our final story, we head to the Big Island, where the Kona Historical Society has recreated an authentic Portuguese oven. Now here's a scoop from our friends at Konawaena High School.
Every Thursday, volunteers from the Kona Historical Society wake up bright and early to heat up an old-fashioned stone oven to bake Portuguese bread. It may appear like another bread-baking business, but the Kona Historical Society's mission is to provide the community with a wealth of information preserving Kona stories.
The tradition really is how did Kona get settled and what was happening back in those days. And most of the present-day children don't realize or don't know what has happened before. And most of the people who lived in that period of time have not passing away, and we don't have the documented traditions alive here to let people know how Kona was settled, how it grew, and what it was like in the early periods.
Recreating an authentic Portuguese stone oven proved to be a challenging but worthwhile endeavor.
It was trying to build it more like as close as it could be as what the Portuguese people did back here in the 1800s, 1870s. And it's been here for 5 years, and it's got, well, the foundation and then the brick bed for the hearth of the oven. And then it's got 2 layers of lava rock, 1 dome of lava, and then they did the second one. And we pull out all the coals when the time is ready to get the oven equalized in temperature, and there's no fire, there's nothing heating up the oven more than what the wood heat up during the 4 hours. Yeah.
Aside from the usual ingredients of flour, water, and eggs to make bread, the unique baking process using the stone oven gives the bread a taste that cannot be reproduced in conventional ovens.
Time, smell, how it feels, how it sounds when you tap on it, how it looks, experience, all of them. Some people go just, this is how long it's going to be in there, and they leave it in for, say, 20 minutes. I look at it more, and I might take it out at 14 minutes if it looks done, because I'd rather not burn it. And bread will continue to bake for up to half an hour after it comes out of the oven. It's still got so much heat trapped in it that it still bakes. So I don't worry too much if it's not fully cooked the second it comes out. It does end up cooking over.
$7 will buy you a loaf of one of the best breads you will ever taste. If you're ever in the Kona area, be sure to stop by the Kona Historical Society, your guide to Kona's living history. This is Gunnar Nagata from Konawaena High School reporting to you for HIKI NŌ.
Well, that's it for this week's show.
We hope you enjoyed the stories shared from around our islands.
Next week's show will be coming to you from Molokai High School, as their students will be your hosts. Tune in to see stories from Kalani High School, Waianae High School, Roosevelt High School, Wailuku High and Intermediate School, and Le Jardin Academy on Oahu.
Waiakea High School and West Hawaii Explorations Academy on the Big Island.
And Lahaina Intermediate on Maui.
So join us next week to see what students of Hawaii can do, only on HIKI NŌ and only on PBS Hawaii.
We leave you now with a video haiku of the sights and sounds of Hawaii. Aloha!
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.